Guys, have you noticed yourself doing this? Before I explain what you're doing or what I was doing too, I'm gonna ask you a question. What videos did you watch yesterday? Whether on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, what did you watch yesterday? If you're like me, I bet you can't even recall. So this has been going on in my life for years. What is active viewing? And as you guys know, I've been cleaning out my basement, just looking at fun stuff to inspire me from the old middle school, high school, even college days. I realized I need to correct this habit that I have, and probably most of you have. We're so passively viewing content, pictures, videos, articles, etc., that we are literally just wasting time. Because if you don't remember and really can't learn from anything that you've in the past probably few years consumed, you're wasting your time. Now, the caveat, of course, is that the mind will soak up stuff that you might not consciously be able to recall. Now, that in itself is another layer of sketch. Who knows what it's soaking up? So then, it's being manipulated, whether consciously or unintentionally, it's being manipulated. Yesterday, I suddenly had an epiphany. I'll show you right now. I have all this leftover paper, and I said to myself, well, I could recycle all this in a way, maybe from a clearing head trash way. It is good to recycle it. But then I said, I have all this paper. Why not take notes? If you guys remember taking notes back in the day, right? Whether in college or even before in grade school, every video I started watching, I started taking notes. I remember the videos I watched yesterday, and those videos led to something productive. As I was taking notes yesterday, I realized so many videos, they might have even had amazing information, amazing content. It didn't lead to any proactive changes, proactive behaviors in me. There's something about actively engaging with the content, which is one of the few things that I think schools really try to emphasize to us. That's the first step to critical thinking. Society, you can say, has a critical thinking deficit. Why is it? And I'm not someone that says I'm above that. I realize the first step is we forgot how to actively listen, because information's so readily available that we've taken it for granted, and we forgot that every source of information you take in, there's ways of consuming it. Some are more efficient than others, some are more effective than others. And guys, I'm not saying you have to actively listen all the time. Sometimes you want to just be like, right? It's okay to not actively listen, but it's also not okay for your mind's growth, for society, to never actively listen. And I think I've been falling into this habit where I spend 4 hours listening to YouTube videos, and I will not remember anything I listened to. During the time, I'm like, oh my God, I will distinctly remember my behaviors during the time, whatever period. Oh my God, this is so brilliant. Oh my God, this is so brilliant. But do I remember anything, all that brilliance that I was like, absolutely not. It looks like all this was kept for a reason, which makes it so I'll have a lot more content to talk about, because now I'll have fresh ideas. I'll have a lot more things to think about. For those of you that remember, different ways to take notes, of course, right? So I'm taking notes just to absorb the information better. I'm not at the second step of taking notes, which is examine the fundamentals or formulate counter ideas. I'm not at that point yet. That takes another level, because that's not just being present and absorbing and understanding. That's also then next step, formulating your own opinions and interacting back. So I'm not at that point, and I don't want to be at that point, because part of, I think, why all of us really enjoyed YouTube and Facebook and all these platforms was, if needed, we could turn some of this off. From what I've been realizing, it's not good to completely turn this off when you're consuming content. At the least, you just end up wasting your time in the long run. At the most, you're probably being manipulated. If you learned anything from this video, I hope you guys start taking notes sometimes, especially a video that seems to be information dense. Take some notes. Not only does your brain need it, your brain deserves it. So let me know if you try this habit, what happens? Do you end up remembering the stuff you've been consuming on whatever platform? Do you end up also have pages and pages of notes? What do you do with that, right? Do you type it up? I mean, that's counting the eggs before they hatch, but I would love to hear your follow-ups. So we'll make another video maybe in a month once I develop this habit more.